Hi students, this is Mrs. Marinelli for Business 270 from College of the Sequoias, and this video is starting our nuts and bolts packet, so you will need that. And we're starting basic MS Word concepts, and in this chapter of nuts and bolts you'll be learning how to start Word and close Word, open and save documents, changing font styles and sizes, using the backspace and delete key, bold, italicize, and underline, and then saving and printing. So kind of a lot in this video, but the first thing we need to do is to open Word and look at the bottom of your taskbar. And again, I have several programs with buttons already. I don't know if you have the Word button on your taskbar. If not, go to the left of your taskbar and click on Start. And do you see Word here? If not, type Word in the search box. And we can open Word from that document, or I'm sorry, that screen. So let me close it again. So again, I have Word on my taskbar. If you don't, go to Start, look for Word. If you don't have it, type it down in your search text box. Search for Word and you can click on Word. So I'm opening Word. We have many options, many templates that we could open. We could open documents that I've already created. I'm just going to click on blank document for a brand new Word document. So now I'm in my Word window, and these are the tabs that we discussed in our file management, and each tab opens a different ribbon of choices. Most of the time we will be working from the Home tab, and on the Home tab it's broken down into groups: clipboard, font, paragraph, styles, editing, sensitivity. If you are using Office Word 2016, I don't think you have sensitivity. And if you see a little arrow in the corner of a group, that's the launcher, and the launcher opens more choices. So it opens another window of choices. So at the right, we've learned close, restore down, maximize, minimize. We learned that in the file management unit. When you minimize, you are shrinking the document to the button on the taskbar. So I can just hover over it and bring it back up, make it active again. And if you don't see the ruler, this is the ruler, the horizontal ruler. To the left is the vertical ruler. Click on View, and in the Show group, you should have a check mark in Ruler. If not, click on it to have a check mark, and then go back to Home. So the default margins is the white space where we don't type, we leave blank, is 1 inch all the way around. So I have a 1 inch top margin, a 1 inch bottom margin, 1 inch left and right margin. Down at the bottom right, I have a slider here that I can shrink my document window to whatever size I want, or you can click on plus or minus to shrink the size. Put it back at 100. But you can see that this is the 1-inch blank. So from this gray area of the ruler to here, that's 1 inch. That's your margin. This gray area is a 1-inch margin. The left shows a 1-inch top margin. So we're going to have 1-inch blank. On the Home tab in the font group, the default font is 11 font size, and the font is Calibri. I can change the font. I'll just change it to Arial, and I can change the font size. I'm going to change it to a large one, so I'm hoping it's easier for you to see. So I changed it to 24. I can click on the increase font size button to make it bigger, or decrease font size to make it smaller. I'll make it bigger again. And then I'm going to type my name. And I put too many L's in my name. So I can use my mouse and get in front of an L and use the backspace key to delete the L's. Now I don't have enough, so I can put more in. And if I'm in front, I can use the delete key to delete what's to the right or put back in. If I left out letters or a word, I want to put my maiden name in, I can just put my mouse and click and type, and the other words just scoot over. You've learned the caps lock key, so I won't go over that. So if I type I didn't hit the enter key, I let it wrap. Wrap means it's going to get to the end of the line. I don't have to hit the enter to have the line go from one to the next. If I need a new line, I hit the enter key. So I just hit it several times. That's called a hard return because I forced it. So if I turn on my show hide button, which is in the paragraph group, this is a paragraph symbol, it shows me every time I hit the space bar with a little square, and every time I hit the enter key, I get a hard return. Here's a hard return. I haven't hit enter yet, but it's always to the right of the cursor. So if I hit enter once, twice, I left a line blank. So we'll work on that a little bit more. I just want to get to the major categories first today. And if I've already typed and I decide I want the font changed, I can highlight. There's more than one way to do this. I can highlight by clicking and dragging the area that I want to change. So I've highlighted this first sentence. And if I go to the font group, I can change the font size. I can change the font. I can change the color. If I click on the list arrow, I can find different colors. I can put a highlight in the background like you would a highlighter pen. So I can always make changes after typing, or I can make changes before I type. If I know I want this in red and I know I want it in size 72, which is an inch high, and let's say I want it underlined, I can put the commands before. Whoops, I didn't get the red. Why am I not getting red? It's underlined and the font has changed. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I'm going to click and change it back to red. So you can make formatting changes before or after you type. If I decide I don't want this to be a new paragraph, I'll turn on my show hide. I can delete that paragraph marker and then backspace to get this one to not have the hard return. It entered because it's so big. It didn't fit. So we'll make it smaller. So I'm wanting you to see that you can put in words after you've typed. If you made a mistake, you can correct words. Marinelli is underlined, and it's not that it's spelled wrong, it's because it's not in the dictionary. So I'll do a right click. My mouse isn't working. Right click, and oh, it's two words. Delete the repeated words. I put Marinelli instead of Miguel, so I deleted. And we'll put Miguel in here. So let's say I've been working on this and I want to save it. So I'm going to go to File tab, Save As. We practiced this in a previous video. And I'm going to save it to my thumb drive. So I'm going to go to this PC, double click to open Explorer, and I'll put it on my K drive in my Word folder. I'm just going to leave the name the way it is and just say save. So now when you look at the title bar, you can see the file name. So let's give it a footer. So insert, we worked on this in a previous video, footer, put it at the bottom left, and I'll do document info, file path, and it'll put the name and the path. And then I also want to put quick parts, field, print, P for print, print, I like print date, and I'll take the first option. And then I can close the header footer. So now it has a different header footer. So I'm going to click save. That time I just need save. So this document has been updated with the same name. So now if I close Word, I can go to File Explorer, go to my K drive, Word folder, and I'll do modify by or date modify, and there it is. And I can double click and open Word again and open the document again. So if I want to print this, I'll go to File, Print, and choose the printer. And let's say it took up more pages. I could say I only want to print page 2. Let's say I just wanted to print page 2. So I could do that. We're printing page 1. You have the choice of one-sided, two-sided, orientation. So then you would click print. I'm not going to because I don't really want to print this, but I'm going to go back. So you guys, since we're not handing in work, Nuts and Bolts is going to tell you to print. You won't need to print, but you need to know how to print. You will be submitting these into Canvas. And in your Nuts and Bolts packet, you have your assignment sheet, and then you have the special directions that tells you how to do footers and some other special directions, and then the next page tells you how to submit documents into Canvas. So this is a brief summary of starting with Word. All of the directions are in your Nuts and Bolts. You will read step by step by step, and it tells you what to do. The only thing it won't tell you to do is to create the footer that I'm requesting. So make sure that you create your footer before submitting to me. So this Nuts and Bolts, if you look at the bottom right of your packet, BWD stands for Basic Word Document. Page 2, page 3. It goes all the way to page 12. And your assignment page tells you which documents to do. So you're going to do Basic Word Assignment 1 and hand that in. So that's your Basic Word 1. And remember to know where you're saving. So I hope this helps you with your introduction to the Nuts and Bolts for Basic Word 1, Assignment 1. Read the directions. If you read the directions, it tells you step by step, and look at the pictures. Enjoy learning Word.